Hi everyone. So I've spoken a lot about Lifebook, about John Butcher, the guy who created this thing. And I even wrote about it in my book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. In fact, in the code, when I talk about the 12 categories of life, the 12 categories of balance, I state that that was inspired by John Butcher and Lifebook. So the question is, what is Lifebook and what did it actually do for me? So I wanted to record this quick video and actually take you through my Lifebook. Now, what you're seeing here is the leather-bound Lifebook. I'm sure you guys have heard the story. John Butcher, entrepreneur, creator of some 20 different companies, including the massive Precious Moments brand, of which he's the chairman of the board. John had a life that was seemingly perfect, and his friends would ask him, John, how is it that you are in your 50s and you're so remarkably fit? How is it that you have a house so beautiful that Oprah asked you to come on her show and give a tour of your home? How is it you have such a beautiful relationship with your grandkids, with your children, with your wife? And John would talk about this leather-bound journal that he created when he was a young man, in which he mapped out his life in 12 different categories. And his friends approached him and said, can you teach this to us? He turned it into a program called Lifebook. Now, John isn't a personal growth teacher, but he is a brilliant man in his own way. He's an entrepreneur. And Lifebook was really his gift to the world. See, many billionaires are unconsciously competent. They are good at what they do, but they cannot teach you how to get there. This is where John is an outlier. He's consciously competent, and his Lifebook approach, or rather as I call it, billionaire training, kind of teaches you how to get to a life that feels like a masterpiece. So I want to take you through my Lifebook and show you some of the remarkable ideas that came to me as I went through the Lifebook seminar in Chicago, and how these ideas later ended up showing up in my life in beautiful ways. Now, what you're seeing here is about 7 years old. I took the Lifebook seminar in around April or May 2010. So Lifebook divides life into 12 categories, as I mentioned. I'm not going to go through all 12 categories, but I want to show you a couple of key things that changed me. One is health and fitness. John is remarkable for his health as a man in his 50s, right? He seems as if he never ages. And what I learned about Lifebook is the importance of setting goals around health and fitness, but no more than just goals. I learned the idea that I could be 80 and still be in peak physical shape. Today, I am 40 and I can kick my 25-year-old self's butt. I'm fitter and stronger than I was at 25. I can fit into pants I wore when I was 20 years old. And all of that came because John opened up my eyes to the idea, get this, that aging is optional, and that we can choose to get healthier and fitter as we grow older. And as you can see here in this Lifebook, I came up with my premise for fitness, why I needed to be fit. So in Lifebook, you come up with a premise, which is your why for each category. Then you come up with your vision. So I wrote down why I wanted to feel amazing, why I wanted to have an energy level of 10. I attached it to a purpose, and part of my purpose was my kid, being able to play not just with my kids when I'm in my 80s, but to be able to play ball with my great-grandchildren, because I would still be in peak physical fitness. Now, that may sound absurd to you, right? But I do believe that when you change your mindset around your body and what is possible, when you stop buying into some of the rules or bullshit rules of society at large, these things show up in your life. And Lifebook helped me see that aging was optional and that fitness and health was so important to my life. Now I want to show you another category that was really interesting, and I learned this from John too, and it is environments. So I learned the importance of actually setting goals for the type of car I want to drive, the type of home I want to live in, the hotels I want to stay in. So many of us forget that. And today I can say that, influenced by Lifebook, around 2.5 years after the seminar, I ended up moving into a beautiful home. And the environment here is like a work of art. I hired great designers to create beautiful objects in the home, a custom red piano, feature wall. And a lot of this came from being exposed to John and his ideas on how environments shift us and change us, and how we often live in lousy environments simply because we don't know better. Our education system doesn't teach us the importance of these things. So the main thing about Lifebook, and you can see there are 12 different categories, is that in life, in our education system, we learn a preset model of success, and often that has to do with how large is your bank account, what type of promotions are you getting at work, the size of house you live in, do you have a beautiful marriage and 2 kids and 2 cars in the garage. But that's bullshit, because that is a preset model. What if you can create a vision of your life that's true to you? Lifebook gets that. So the first problem with education is that the preset model is primarily around finances and career. That's only 2 of the 12 Lifebook categories. And that's why even if we end up being safe financially, we end up with lousy relationships, living in lousy environments with broken health. It's why so many people are obese. It's why so many marriages fail in divorce. It's why so many people have lousy, meaningless relationships with their children. Society and education failed to really define success for us. But the worst thing that happens is that because all of the drones who are coming out of the modern education system are measuring success in the same way, they fall into this trap where you compare yourself to others. You try to keep up with the Jones. You feel bad when that other person has his business a little bit bigger than yours, or you feel bad when someone else gets a promotion. I know, because I've been there. I used to compare myself to others. But as I created this Lifebook, I realized that my life is like a painting, and you can turn your own life into a masterpiece. And your masterpiece is your masterpiece, your original in your own way. Your only competition is with slowly climbing up the ladder towards the beautiful visions that you create in your Lifebook. That competition is with yourself. And that's one of the most beautiful things that Lifebook does for you. It gets you out of that damn comparison matrix. It gets you out of that bullshit success model that a broken education system installs in us and brainwashes us to believe actually means something. But the most interesting thing is this: as you start writing down your visions across these 12 categories, a really weird thing happens. And I can't explain it, but very often your life evolves in such a way for these visions to come true in the most unexpected sense. Some might call it destiny, synchronicities, coincidences. I don't know what it is, but here's what happened to me. As I was creating my Lifebook, and through John's guidance, I was coming up with my vision for friendships, and my vision for adventure, and my vision for environments. I wrote down things about how I wanted to travel around the world. I wanted to stay in luxury hotels. I wanted to have my kids and my family with me. I wanted to have amazing friends that I could travel and have adventures with. I wanted to be in situations where I could grow and learn from the world's greatest teachers. And a weird thing happened within 1 year of Lifebook. I ended up, through a pure, intuitive idea, start a festival. It was called A-Fest. Okay, check this out. This is how eerie this is. This is something I wrote down in Lifebook in 2010, before the very first A-Fest that I created. Now, when I wrote this down, I had no idea how I was going to attain this. I will visit 100 countries around the world. A-Fest, of course, gets me to travel every 6 months to a different country. I will have access to the most influential and fascinating people in the world. These people now come to me at A-Fest. I will be one of the world's top speakers. I was barely speaking back then. And now with A-Fest, I have my own stage. I will own 5-star resorts, office by the beach, where work gets done. I don't own a resort, but I get to work from one. I go on amazing adventure trips with brilliant people at least once a year. Now with A-Fest, this automatically happens twice a year. And I could go on and on and on. When I created this, there was no way I knew how these were going to manifest. Look, I even wrote partying in the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and more. And of course, with A-Fest, our team organizes some of the most elaborate, beautiful parties in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean. And all of this just emerged into my life. I had no idea where they were going to come from as I created Lifebook. I never set a goal as a teenager or a kid to start a festival, a personal growth festival. It just came to me. And when I explained it to my friends in business, they told me it was the dumbest idea they ever heard. But A-Fest today, 6 years later, has become a phenomenon. It's allowed me to create a life where all of those crazy things I put down in my Lifebook and I had no idea how to get there, I now get there frequently. I get to, through A-Fest, create festivals in beautiful locations around the world. Thousands of people apply to come and attend these events, and I get to curate a tribe of remarkable individuals who are there with me. Some of the world's greatest speakers come and speak on our stage for free because they want to be there. And I certainly found myself living this life where the friendships were there, the travel, the adventure. I'm taking my family with me. I'm learning from all of these remarkable speakers. But A-Fest itself defies any business plan. It's a fully profitable business, but it never emerged as a desire to be a business. It simply emerged as this weird little eruption in life that came from me getting really specific about what I wanted and the type of life I wanted to live. I remember reading about a study that shows that you are 49% more likely to attain a goal when you write it down, right? So imagine what happens when you write down thousands of goals and you go deep into the premise, the beliefs behind them, the reason, the vision, all in your life book. Magic happens. So don't be surprised if after you create your life book, after you truly go deep and create a vision for your life in all of these 4 categories, the way you've been moving forward in life certainly shifts in a remarkable way and something beautiful emerges. And I guess that's one of the greatest gifts that Lifebook has given me so far. So I want to invite you to attend this masterclass that I'm doing with John Butcher. You will learn some of John's principles for living life. See, for every category, he gives you remarkable hacks that he has discovered that get you there faster. And at the end of the masterclass, you learn about how you too could create a life book like this, or you could take a life book quest on Mindvalley Academy and over 30 days, start building up this epic life for yourself. I look forward to seeing you there.